Okay, there we go. Yep. Hello. Hi, Nick. Nicholas Ryan Weber coming at you from all the way from Florida. Good to see ya. Sequoia Jones, good to have ya. Oh yeah, let's go. Get pumped, people. Best Quest, baby. World premiere coming at ya. All right, well, let's go to the close-up view, shall we? Hi guys. My name is Dumpkin, and I'm really glad you're here to see my show. I am the executive producer. I bootstrapped this project with my allowance from busking on the Santa Monica Pier and in the forests of Endor for the entirety of my puppet life. This film is a miracle. Sam hasn't finished anything in a long, long time. And before we watch this work of art, we should pray and give it up to the God in heaven that allowed this project to be completed. So, if you would all please join me in a puppet prayer. Thank you, God, for this day. I absolutely love you, Lord. You're so gracious and kind to me. Lord, bless the work of our hands. We are nothing without you. Our works are rags to you. Have mercy on our souls and be glorified in this time. All right. Good seeing you guys. I'm going to give it up to my assistant, Sam.
And here we are. All right, who's ready to watch some kids pilots? I'm very excited to have you guys here. Oh my gosh. Art, you know. I could talk more about it, but I think let's talk. What is it? Ewoks don't tip well either. No, they don't. I'm not going to say anything more. I say let's experience this film together, and then we'll talk about it. Sound good? All right, let's cue this up. All right, I'm going to mute myself. And without further ado, I present to you Vest Quest, the ABC's opera.
Greetings, fellows! My name's Fergus, the historian. Welcome to the land of cultivation, where children come to learn, grow, and play. What's this now? A royal message from King Complete. Your Majesty!
I hereby commission the most esteemed artist, Mr. Vest, to compose a symphony to celebrate the glorious returning of the King of Kings, who will be arriving someday soon. Now get to it, Mr. Vest.
My word! Such a noble and enormous assignment from the king! Let's go see what Mr. Vest makes of it.
Oh my gosh, this is terrible. I can't believe King Complete just commissioned me to write a symphony. I can't write a symphony. I've never written a symphony before in my life. This is terrible. He's gonna throw me into the incomplete dungeon, and then who's gonna take care of Duncan? Who's gonna take care of my dog? I don't even have a dog. What am I gonna do?
Calm down, Mr. Vest. It'll be fun. You're great at writing music.
Yes, Duncan, music, musical notes, but symphonies have real words in them with letters.
Yeah? So what's the problem?
I'm illiterate. I don't know how to read.
Is that why you made me read the king's letter to you?
And if King Complete finds out, he's gonna throw me in the unfinished dungeon. I'm doomed. Doomed.
Oh! Hey, fellas! Do you know how to read? No! No? Well, how are we supposed to teach Mr. Vest?
Mr. Vest! Mr. Donkey!
I'll teach you how to read.
Lexiconer? Of course! You know everything! He's a dictionary! Mr. Vest! Mr. Vest! Come and look!
Lexiconer, would you please teach me how to read?
Sure, just follow my lead. To learn to read, we have to start with the 26 letters of the alphabet. And to help you remember all of their names, let's sing them as a song. Ready? Here we go.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me?
That was fun! You're just the cutest little alphabet ever! Look at the D! Look at that little D! I'm so Thank you for watching this video. Did you like it? Click the link below to let us know what you think. You can also be added to our newsletter to be notified of upcoming releases. Isn't that great? Well, that's about it. May God bless your day. Okay, bye.
Ta-da! We did it. We done did it. Vesquest, folks. The ABC's Opera. A pilot episode. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, did you enjoy that? Did you get a kick out of that? Well, I figure we can talk about it a little bit. I know we got some filmmakers in the stream, so I figured take a couple minutes and just go behind the scenes. Why in the world would I make such a thing? Why? Why would we make such a thing as this? Well, it was an opportunity to pitch a children's show to a studio out here in Hollywood. And Leo Guzman, the producer, had a very exciting opportunity. And he said, hey, these people are looking for kids content. You got an idea for a show? And I said, yeah, I got a couple ideas. And so we pitched back and forth a couple, and we came to the conclusion that we should do sort of the wholesomeness of Mr. Rogers meets the zaniness of Pee Wee Herman. And thus, Best Quest was born. Let's look at some behind the scenes stuff. What do these shots actually look like? Yeah. All right. Let's see. Pull up Premiere. There we go. Let's have a look at what we got over here. All right, so here we got Premiere up, and I thought I'd just show you what it looks like, how it was actually shot. So here's the wide shot over here. Make that a bit bigger. You can see it nice and big. And if we kind of take off some of the effects, you'll start to see, let's see here. There you go. Shot on green screen. This was at my studio I had for a while in North Hollywood, which I since had to let go. I had a great year of business in 2022 and a terrible year of business in 2023. So here we are. The studio is now right here. My bedroom. But I have no regrets. As you can see, things are booming. Business is booming, baby. So you can see Leo over here holding the boom mic. And so I shot this in 2 slates. With the first slate, you have Mr. Vest over here. And let's see where Dumpkin is. There he is, right there. So if I turn off his effects, you'll get to see what he looks like. So Dumpkin had to be shot on a blue screen. Why is that? Music and sound effects were on point. I am so glad. You think it all came together, because boy howdy, did I work hard. It's a musical after all. Ah, there you go. Wow. I was going to make a whole quiz out of it, but Nick, you got it first try. That's right. Dumpkin's green nose. If I use a green screen, he would key out his poor little nose, which that would really suck to have to rotoscope. And guess who's playing the puppeteer? Who could possibly be this blue dude in this blue suit? Well, I'll let you take a guess, but I'll tell you about this. This was really fun because why use the blue suit? Well, I wanted Dumpkin to be full-bodied with his feet standing on the ground, and so it's kind of hard to hide the puppeteer when the character's full body. And so that's why you use the blue suit, because that way you can key out the puppeteer. The most annoying part of this whole film was this thing right here. This, I should say, this is the most annoying part of production. I should say challenging. Challenging. It's not annoying, it's challenging, okay? There's one thing I learned in I literally have a degree in video production, and the best thing I learned from my degree was this is nothing but a problem-solving business. And if you go about your day thinking, okay, I literally just get paid to solve problems, you'll get a lot less frustrated. So the problem here was this, obviously this puppet can't, he has no abilities to hold things on his own. And so the, what is this? The scroll is wire wrapped to his hands, and it just would sag every take, and it had to keep getting readjusted. And that was quite annoying. So thank you to Robert Meeks and Leo Guzman for assisting the puppeteer. And if you haven't guessed it, yes, that is me puppeteering this guy. So yeah, it's you have to have these shots planned out, because obviously if you're gonna have two characters that aren't in the same place, you need to know basically the timing of things and their interaction. Otherwise, it's hard to get them look like they're actually talking to each other. Let's talk a bit about the backgrounds. Backgrounds. Guess where they came from? AI. That's right. The very thing that really put me out of business. I decided, can't beat them, join them. So I used, I think background was generated in Midjourney. And from there, I took it and broke it down into the individual parts, which I could then, yeah, you got it. Which I could then, kind of move around to get that sort of, it's called parallax, which is noticeable if I pull this back up and I go into you can kind of see as I scrub through that there's kind of a camera shake in the scenes. And that camera shake is creating the parallax. You can kind of see how the pillar, you can see how the pillar moves slightly faster in the background so I really wanted it to feel like, I didn't want it to feel flat. Give it some dimension. So just adding a tiny little camera shake, I felt like really just brought the room to life. Of course, that's a lot of work. You have to pull out the couch and then color, basically fill in the gaps. It's a very, very time-intensive process, but also very good, because if this show, God willing, we do another episode, this is now a digitally built set, so a lot of this work doesn't have to be done again. Let's talk about the other puppet, Lexiconer. How are you going to learn to read? Well, I don't know. You probably find some kind of book, and Lexiconer, played by my buddy Joey Vigor. Those are his lips right there. So let's take a peek at what shooting Lexiconer looks like practically. There's Joey. Let's take a look at this. Turn these off. And there you go. More, let's move this. More blue screen action. Oh yes, Nick, you know Joey. Yes, that's crazy. Yeah, Joey Vigor Joey nailed it. Oh my gosh, I needed a nerdy book, and well, Joey fit the bill. There's Joey's face. Turn off. There it is. Here. So yeah, the character. Oh no. That's how we did that that cool transition where the the puppet, you know, basically covers the screen, and so I'm able to cut to the next scene. This was challenging. This was challenging. You'll notice in the finished film, his mouth is real for a bit. And then it transitions back to the fake puppet mouth. Why did I do that? Why didn't I just keep it as his actual lips? Because tracking his mouth to this floating surface was taking hours, and it still looked like garbage. So rather than, and you know, the show must go on. So rather than pull my hair out, I decided, you know what? When he talks, I'll use the live action mouth, but I guess this is all live action. I'll use the human mouth, but when he stops talking, I'm just gonna go back to the felt, because whatever. Sometimes you got to cut corners. It's low budget, folks. Low budget, meaning no budget. Loved Lexiconer. His sound effect is. I wonder if you can guess what character inspired this.
Read?
Kind of listen to his sound.
Oh, I'll teach you how to read.
Lexiconer? Of course! You know everything! He's a dictionary! Mr. Vest, come and look!
So you can kind of hear that. Woo, woo, woo. Can you guess what video game character inspired that kind of floating sound? Man, if you guessed that, I'd be so impressed. Tick tock, tick tock. The character Lakitu. Lakitu, the little turtle man in the cloud. Woo, woo, woo. Inspired that sound. You know, art's a reflection of life. You live life and you pull from it, and you make new stuff. This shot was cool because obviously those obviously the letters are all digital, and so that had to be tracked. You know, you just warp the shape. Book mouth effect looks smooth. I didn't even notice it. Something to watch for. Yes. Oh, I'm glad you said that. Somebody noticed that in the first watch through. When I pitched this to my company, they noticed that and it bugged them. But they were the only ones, and so I was glad that it wasn't too distracting. So here's that over the shoulder shot. This is a cool shot, pretty dynamic. Let's see what this looks like. So this over the shoulder shot, pretty cool. It just really adds you know, when you're just looking at it constantly, when you're constantly looking at it in a flat frontal kind of proscenium arch, it doesn't really feel like a film. You know, when you're just doing kind of cut to just these very flat shots. And so this over the shoulder shot was really important, not only to just kind of like make it feel like the world was three-dimensional, but also obviously practically we needed to see Mr. Vest open the book, and that's a very important moment. And then I animated the 2D little letters. That was fun to track. And obviously every time the hands cross in front of the letters, you have to draw a mask for the hands. So fortunately it's not too many frames, but it's enough that, yeah, this production took, if I had done it full time, it would have taken me, I would say, 2 months to complete. But of course, because I work a full-time job, it took a year to finish this project, just because you just work whenever you can find time. If I were to shoot this again, if I knew what I knew now, one bit of criticism I got was, all right, so you have this illiterate guy, and then all of a sudden he just knows, right? He just opens the book and now he knows the ABCs. And so obviously there's a lot of suspension of disbelief. But I would have done, like, story-wise, rather than just have him open up the book and all of a sudden he knows how to read. There's obviously a magical component because this is, this isn't about teaching like phonetics and just how to pronounce each letter individually. It's more foundational. So assuming you already know these letters, or I don't know, it's more just it's heavier on the entertainment side than it is the education. But anyways, long story short, I'd have had sort of a Jimmy Neutron moment. And this is that kind of moment, but like kind of, if you ever watched Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius would have to figure out whatever major conflict of the story. But he has the brain blast where like the camera goes inside his ear and you see his big brain firing, and then the camera zooms out of his head and you see him. He goes, "Oh, brain blast!" Like now I know it. So it's like some thematic visual representation of, oh, this is his genius kicking in. So in this case, Mr. Vest's genius comes out when he sings. So whenever the music kicks in, that's when his genius kicks off. And so I would have spent a little extra moment giving a visual represent, and this would be something recurring because in each episode he would have to, he's learning something new. And it's all charged by his commission to write this symphony for the king. And so that would be a really cool. I just thought it was a magical book. Well, yeah, it is. It is a magical book. So maybe that's enough. Again, suspension of disbelief. But thematically, it would be. This is a great moment to like have a recurring theme. That way, there's kind of familiar things that happen in each episode. So yeah, little brain blast moment. Oh, I love this song so much. So this is actually this song here. Let's kind of listen to it's for kids, definitely magical book. Yeah. Let's listen to a couple bars of this song. C, D, E, F, G. So this song here is actually a classical opera. The melody is from Caro mio ben, Thou all my bliss. Caro mio ben. And it's the first song I ever learned. Back in college, I received 2 years of vocal training, and this was the first song I ever learned, Thou All My Bliss. And it goes, Caro mio bene, credimi almen, senza di te languisce il cor. So I knew, that was like, I knew the whole premise of the episode. I just wanted to sing the ABCs in opera. And it was just such a no-brainer that this would be the melody. Like, honestly, the entire episode is just, how can I justify some dude singing the ABCs in opera? And so I'm like, oh, he's commissioned by the king to write a symphony, but he's this savant composer, but he just knows musical notes. He can't read, so of course he needs to learn to read. And so he's got to learn the ABCs. Ow, I'm sitting on. And it was amazing. Caro mio ben. It's just A, B, C, D, caro mio ben. It's just so perfect. And literally you get through the verses and the song's done. So there you go. You just tune of Caro mio ben. And I should also say, it's just, this song just reaches this. It just reaches this level. H-I-J-K-L-M-N This is cute. People like that part. He loves it. This was so fun. Like, I don't know, just performing this is just so fun. Like, I don't know why. I could just kind of feel the joy of just kind of like language. You know, it's a gift. I don't know, just tapping into that. I mean, I love to sing. And I mean, this show is just a combination of so many things I love: singing, puppetry, animation, film. And I don't know, I really feel this hit that mark. It just hit that kind of that magical, that movie magic. For me, it hits it where I just like, oh man, like, I don't know, it just kind of elevates. It's not just some silly, zany thing. Like, to me, this just feels like art. It feels like an expression. And yeah, I'm really proud of how the song turned out. And actually, when I pitched this show to my company, they weren't so on board with the whole storyline. It was just too zany for them because they're primarily educational. And so for the pitch to my CEO, I only showed the song. I didn't even show the rest of it with the, you know, kind of the story and getting to know the characters. So naturally, you know, they turned it down because they're more educational. But yeah, I like the entertainment factor. It's so we'll see what people think as far as if it finds a niche now that it's online. What else we got? The shot crazy. Of course, this was probably the first shot that I composited. So I knew you got to start at the end. This was what everything built up to, was this shot here. Yeah. This was like the first shot that I stitched together in pre-production was this. And so once you know your grand epic final image, then everything kind of just builds up to that moment. And oh, here's a little fun fact. These two characters back there, oh, those are my parents. I put them in like some fancy Victorian painting. And you could see kind of like where the AI breaks down. There's some weird stuff in here, but I took out a bunch of things and added, you know, I wanted to have several, like, kind of like Pee-wee's Playhouse. He's got all these objects that can talk to you, so I could see in future episodes. Cursive the piano. Yeah, I have names for all these. I know that's Cursive the piano. I can't remember the teapot's name, and then there's the clock. You can see the clock. There he is back here. Grandfather clock. Yeah, it'd be really fun to animate these guys. Get to know their story, what they're all about. The only other, I actually realized that these characters would actually be pretty easy to animate, because one really exciting thing about this project was this character right here. I call him TB. TB. Because some kids can't pronounce V, so they say B. So this is TB. And I knew at the end I wanted Dumpkin sitting on the porch, which is supposed to be the porch of the house. Saw the piano. I was thinking it would help. Right, play the song. Oh, for sure. See, you're a storyteller. You know exactly how it'd be. Of course, Cursive would know how to. He'd be his collaborator. He'd help him write the song. So, anyways, at the end, for the end card, I knew I wanted Dumpkin like sitting on the porch. I thought that was just a really fun idea. And obviously, it's not perfect, but I think it's pretty good. Like, it definitely looks like the same house. Obviously, the staircase isn't quite identical, but this was quite fun. And I'm like, well, I knew I wanted Dumpkin on the porch, but I needed to show the credits. And, you know, as opposed to just rolling text, I was like, well, of course you got to have some 3D character that can just, I don't know, fly in and show you the credits. So that's what I did. I built this 3D model. I think the TV was actually free, but the arms I modeled, the hands, I think the only thing I actually had to model was the tube arms. I was able to kind of find these three free 3D models to kind of piece them, Frankenstein them together. And I loved creating the sort of the VHS type screen with all that noise. That was so fun to make. And so building this guy, I realized, oh my gosh, wow. Now I have this set of skills in Blender that I could easily animate, you know, the piano or clock. So that's really exciting to me. That was something I got to really build on. I've never 3D animated anything like this before. And you know, it's just a looping animation, right? His hands just kind of just a static looping. So nothing too crazy. Just add some shake in there. And yeah, he turned out great. Let's see if I can't find that shot. What does that look like to shoot him on the stairs? Because I'm pretty proud of how this turned out. Back in Premiere. We look at our end card. Let's see what this looked like. Ba-boom. So I shot the end card once I had closed up my studio. And so I shot this in my apartment. This is in our living room. And yeah, because he's sitting up on the because he's sitting like slightly higher than the camera, I had to put the camera on the ground, kind of achieve that angle. And so while I was shooting, I was able to kind of do a temporary key so I could make sure that the angle looked appropriate. And yeah, pretty excited how that turned out. Kind of like he's not looking straight at you, he's kind of looking at a 3/4 off to the side. And my roommates were very gracious because I have 2 roommates. Crazy. Because like a year ago, had my own apartment and my own studio, and thank God I don't have those things. Because I had to learn how, what's the word? Extravagant I am with my spending, how I spend money on things that aren't necessary. I had to confront the deficiencies in how I do business. Whole nother talk. But yeah, was it tough to let go of the studio and move back into an apartment? As in move the studio back into my apartment. Obviously, I'd been in my apartment for my first 9 years of living in Los Angeles. So yeah, it was nice to have a brick and mortar building, but coming back into the apartment, it's actually allowing me to create more because the overhead was so crushing. And also, well, I mean, anyways, I'm glad it worked out. Do I want another brick and mortar building? Yes. Am I rushing to get that? No. First, gonna like hunker down on a better business model, which I think right now, in this current age, the better business model is just rent locations, but don't keep a brick and mortar building, especially at this just tiny indie level. You do not need a building. I know it's not fun to work in your apartment, but get some good roommates and you save so much money. And without that financial pressure, I'm able to create. Because art, creativity is like this, it's like this delicate little flower. And if it's like a little puppy and it's scared, and if it doesn't think it's going to get fed, it won't come out and play. So it's very hard to create when you're frightened of how you're going to pay your rent. Some people say that's actually, no, that's where your really good art comes from. You can make some good stuff, but it's pretty inconsistent. You kind of need to have some consistency in your life, especially to finish stuff like this, especially if it's just you. Just the sheer number of hours it takes, you need a consistent routine. And so I found that dialing back on expenses like renting a studio has really helped me to get projects like this done. All right, we'll wrap it up in just a minute. Of course, that's a little SpongeBob reference. Imagination. Got to throw that in there. You weren't all wrong. Having a solid foundation routine is how you can focus on your art. It's so true. It's so true. Spent my 20s just inconsistent and just, you can never hold me down. I'm a free spirit. I do whatever I want. Every single day is different. That's how I like to live. And now I'm just like, I want to go out of bed at 9:30. I'm going to be up at 5. I'm going to do my little routine and I'm going to stay in my lane. And I love it. I love that. Yeah, it's just kind of like, I think I just hit the point in my life where I was just not getting anything done. Because when you're kind of this free spirited, like every day, YOLO, every day's a new day, freelancer, it's just like you can have these short bursts, but I could not get the endurance to produce bigger projects. And so nothing was getting done. I would start things. It's easy enough. I can write a script in a day. I can shoot stuff in a day. But like post-production, especially with my content, is so heavy. I mean, like if you percentage my productions, it's like 3% on script writing, 7% on the production, and then 90% is just all post. It's just, oh gosh. Just how I think. And that's what else? So okay, what's the future of S-Quest? At this point, it's online. My goal was just to get it to this point. I have a landing page, so if people want to support it, in the comments, you can sign up for our email newsletter. And God willing, I do some sort of crowdfunding campaign to raise funds to produce another episode or perhaps a season. That's how I'll be notifying people. So that's kind of my funnel, my sales funnel. Go ahead and if they like it, they can sign up for the email newsletter. And then if it gets enough traction, probably do a crowdfunding campaign, Starter, Indiegogo, those sorts of things to produce more episodes. I'm already on to the next thing. Have another animation I'm working on. I have like a list of like 17 things that I just like, I've given myself a year. I just turned 35. I'm going to be 36 in a year. And I just want to get through as many things as I can in this year because I want to clean my slate. I'm just so tired of having all these unfinished projects. So it's definitely, it's such a blessing to finally just have the time and mental capacity and financial stability to just like to finish all these stuff that I shot. I have short films I shot in 2015. I know, it's terrible. But yeah, we'll see what FestQuest does. Thanks so much for tuning in, Nick and Shelly and Sequoia Jones. It was really, really great to get to hang out with you guys and get to share this project with you. Thanks for being such a great audience. I look forward to entertaining you more in the future. And before we go, let's pray it out, huh? It's a prayer. Father God, thank you so much. You are the first artist The first thing you did is create the world, created the whole universe. So thank you for creativity. Thank you for creating us in your likeness. Every time we create, we're reflecting you, Lord, and just your incredible, just incomprehensible awesomeness. Thanks for everybody who watched in. I just ask for a blessing on them, that this film would inspire them and encourage them to create their own art as a means to glorify you. And I just pray that VestQuest would be a ministry, Lord, would just bless children and young adults and adults alike with its just zaniness, and that you would be glorified through the project. And if it be your will, you would provide the hype and the finances to produce more episodes. And if this is to be a standalone, Lord, then so be it. Thank you so much for bringing me to this finish line. Lord, you know the hours and the sweat and the toil it took to finish this project. So thank you for sustaining me through it. And I say this all in Jesus' name. Amen. That's it. That's it. We did it. VestQuest is in the world. It's great to show you what I've been working on, Shelly. That's about it, guys. Gonna clock out. Start working on the next thing. Okay, I'll sleep a bit and then I'll get back to work. God bless you. And we'll see you in the future.